Disney's current CEO, Bob Chapek, finds himself in the middle of a major backlash in regards to how he's handled Disney since taking over for Bob Iger. And now Disney shareholders are actively working on trying to get him removed in hopes of having Disney get back on track to what they were doing over the course of the last 15 to 20 years that saw them finding major success, and less of what he's trying to do, which is, well, cut costs to make it look like profits are happening at the expense of quality. So this upcoming March, specifically March 9th, is the annual shareholders meeting, where of course votes are cast, there's all sorts of discussion, we find out major profit margins and all this, and there's usually a few things that get teased on here, and there's always a couple hints towards what's coming next, and we're going to really find out how Disney has been doing over the course of the last year, because their fiscal year, again, year doesn't end at the end of the year. Fiscal years are handled differently for different companies. So it's really not surprising to hear that a major group that's gaining traction of Disney shareholders are going to actively come together and vote against Bob Chapek being reelected and staying in the position he's in for Disney. Now, this involves everything. We're talking about pretty much every single outlet and facet of everything Disney does that they would be voting against. Essentially, they just don't like the way that he's operating, and there's something to this. Again, I'm neither in support nor removal of him because I do not personally own any stock in Disney in particular. Other things, sure, but not Disney. So I have no, horse in this race. But I honestly can see the argument being made here. And it's very clear and evident for what the people are saying and what they're demanding and why. And I don't think it should be ignored. From the very moment he was announced to be taking over for Bob Iger, it was very explicitly made clear that people were worried because he likes to cut corners. It doesn't matter if things are falling apart behind the scene, as long as the scene looks like it's produced well, it's okay. Get it out there. Cut costs anywhere behind the scenes, just make it look like it's being held together. And again, people are starting to see some of this effect. Now, I will warn you, some people will take this, what I'm saying right now, and what is actually happening, and try to spin it on, it's too much diversity, they want him removed because of forced diversity, they want him removed because of agendas and SJW stuff. That there's no truth to that. They are not voting against that, because that's been very profitable. They don't care about that. They're actively just wanting to remove him out of here because they're worried that you're going to see diminishing quality in everything that's coming up. Essentially, what people are worried about is a couple years from now, the theme parks will see significant upkeeps being kind of, scaled back because they're not going to want to invest in improving the rides or updating them because they're just going to try to update whatever's currently there to fit in. So, for example, let's say for some reason they want to transform something in Disney, in one of their parks around the world, to a Moon Knight attraction. Instead of building it Moon Knight centric, they're just going to go, well, that thing that's been there running on the same mechanics for 60 years? Throw a Moon Knight paint of skin all over it and don't worry about it. They don't want that. Again, it's more complex than what people are going to make it out to be, and I'm even making it out to be less complex than it is, just for the sake of this video so people understand what's happening. Again, I really want to stress this because people do not understand. There is no political drive here. There's no social agenda. There is none of that is behind this. There is no worry about Miss Marvel or forced diversity or LGBTQ representation or anything like that people are going to spin on this story. None of that is a factor in this. This is just operating and how he approaches budgets, constraints, and how he cuts corners. They do not want that. People are looking at Disney as a bigger investment now that pays off down the road more, instead of more money now, diminishing returns in the end. People want it for the long haul, the way it's been handled the last 20 years, and not give me money now, who cares about quality.